And inside New Orleans Arena, the introductions going on in the background. This arena is brand new. It was built, well, basically brand new, built in 1999, and they now have an NBA franchise as the Charlotte Hornets, former Charlotte Hornets, moved here a little more than a year ago. And of course, Bill Hanslick was an assistant coach under Alan Bristow with the Charlotte Hornets, and Alan, the former assistant to Doug Moe, now the assistant general manager in New Orleans. Here's the Gatorade starting five. Andre Miller, Vashawn Leonard for Denver in the backcourt. Marcus Camby coming off that huge game against Phoenix today, and Carmelo Anthony. And we'll look at the starting five now for the Hornets. Last ball game, they dressed only 8 players because of injury. They'll line up this way: Daryl Armstrong and Steve Smith, veteran backcourt. Jamal McGlure in the middle. P.J. Brown, outstanding power forward, and a very good defender in George Lynch. And he'll have the assignment of trying to handle Carmelo Anthony. Tim Floyd's the head coach in New Orleans. They had only 8 healthy for the last ball game, and that's basically the same thing tonight. Stacey Augmon, Robert Traylor, and Bryce Drew available. Sean Rook should be able to play. Look at this group. T.R. Dunn, he's still coaching. You know, the one thing I noticed looking at this group from about 10 years ago in Charlotte, T.R. hasn't aged a bit. But Hans, I mean, you look like 20 years older. And Allen's had the brown hair going now. He's got a lot more gray.
Look at TR. He looks exactly the same.
And Chief looks exactly the same.
Chief's not. I don't know what Chief was thinking about during that game, but Chief was a great player to coach.
There's Tim Floyd, former Chicago Bull coach, former Iowa State coach. But you know what? He's in the right town because he went to school at Louisiana Tech, and then he was a very fine coach for the University of New Orleans. One of his star pupils was Irvin Johnson.
Well, and Tim deserved a second chance after his stint with Chicago, and he changed over something like in the 2 years he was there, like 60 or 70 players came in and out, never had a solid group. Well, down here in New Orleans, he's got a solid group. Unfortunately, they've run into the injury bug that's hurt their record a little bit, but they still look like this team could be a 4th seed in the Eastern Conference.
Well, right now they're in a tie for the 4th spot as we take a look at the KeyBank keys to the game.
Well, get on your D. You got to D your man. No double teams. No double teams are warranted tonight. By playing each other straight up, you can get to those 3-point shooters where they can live and die by that 3-point shot. They will shoot a lot. If you can get up and contest them, they'll miss a lot. That will enable you to fast break. Nothing better to run on than missed long shots. So the Nuggets want to force tempo on the aged Hornet team that's in there right now. They're low on depth on the bench.
That's a great point. I mean, not only are they a little older, Steve Smith's knees, I mean, you coached him in Atlanta. Smitty's been a great player in this league, but his knees are about done. And on top of that, when you only have 8 and you're getting it up and down the floor, that can be tough.
Well, you're right, and tempo's a premium. Another thing I found too, once you come out of altitude, you come down to sea level, you feel good that first game out. So look for the Nuggets to come out and run early.
So here we go. Denver wants to get off to that good start on the road. They're 9-11 away from Pepsi Center. That matches their best road start ever. You have to go back to the 84-85 season last time. They were 9-11. And the Nuggets turn it over trying to feed Nene. Here comes Daryl Armstrong. And the Hornets, unlike, and that's a travel. Bennett Salvatore saying the ball wasn't touched. Leroy Richardson saying it was touched. So Armstrong could restart his dribble.
Well, that's a good call. That should be Nuggets ball because Daryl held on, even though looked like Andre got his hand on the ball. He held on to it. He didn't release it right away. I thought Bennett had this right the first time. Well, kind of outside the picture, but.
Here's P.J. Brown in a shooting slump, but McGlure gets the offensive rebound and lays it back in. That will not please Jeff Vizdelik. McGlure got hit on the top of the head. Kind of smarting at the other end. Here's Carmelo, and he had it rejected. There's Nene. And Nene goes up in a crowd and misses.
2 good shots by the Nuggets. Hornet D up to the task.
George Lynch, not really a shooter, more of a defender, misses from 15 feet.
That time you saw Nene really get McGlure off the boards, and that's going to be a big factor because he is an exceptional offensive rebounder.
Loose basketball, and the Nuggets turn it over for the second time. The Hornets, Bill, unlike most teams in the East, they like to run. And there's Armstrong.
Now the Nuggets off to a little slow start here. Hornets very active, and they realize they're playing a team. The Nuggets no longer surprise people, Drew. When they come to town, teams are ready to play them, so the Nuggets have to match their intensity.
Here's Vashawn Leonard. Shot clock at 7. Carmelo on a wing against George Lynch. He's got to get it up, and that's way off. Out of bounds, which way?
And that'll be a 24-second
yeah, it won't matter because the shot clock expired.
The Nuggets are going to have to do it on the defensive end and try to get out and get some easy hoops. And the Hornets set up. They're second in the league in steals, so they're very active with their hands, and already they've caused a couple turnovers by the Nuggets.
Again, it's one of those games we've described a few times this year. It's a scary game because one team's shorthanded, but if you're not ready to go, you can easily get defeated. Here's Nene running the break. And a late pass and a beautiful feed to Carmelo Anthony. You know, the Nuggets have some big men that can handle the basketball.
They really can. And the difference there, it's sprint speed. Nene took off with it and really created that opportunity. You can't bring it up slow when you go. You have to go at it hard.
McClure was looking for the and one, didn't get the call. 6-2 Hornets. Marcus going up quickly, and he'll lay it in. Nice move by Marcus Camby.
You said that right. He went up quickly with that shot. Be quick, but not in a hurry, and Marcus made a nice move there.
And here's Camby. Again, he'll try to get it to the hole. And Leroy Richardson has a foul.
That's where
P.J. Brown.
Officials have to work together, but then it's Salvador right in front of him. Looked like a lot of hand check by P.J. here, getting his hands on him big time and grabbing him around the shoulder, and the outside official had the call and made a correct call.
And Marcus drains the free throw. The 22 points was a season high for Marcus against the Phoenix Suns. Against New Orleans earlier this year, he had a good ball game, 14 points, 12 rebounds. And Camby with 4 in the early going, and the Nuggets have tied up New Orleans at 6 apiece. McClure, and he put it on the 3 seconds. That's it.
And the Hornets trying a little trickery there with a little screen from Lynch right against McClure, tight down in the low post, and Nuggets responded with some great defense.
Hey, not a lot of offensive options right now for the Hornets. Armstrong can score, Smith can score. You know, P.J. Brown will take his shots, but, you know, not a lot of options. Here's Leonard for 3, and Miller got bounced around, and it comes to Armstrong. And Smith misses a dunk.
Nuggets with a running opportunity right here.
I like the energy the Nuggets are playing with. Nene will throw it down from Andre Miller.
And they said, Smitty, this is how you're supposed to dunk the basketball. Smitty tried to take it up hard, threw it off the rim, and Bo Leonard does what a veteran should do. Take off fast break. Good ball movement by the Nuggets. Created a dunk for Nene.
8-6 Denver. Smith off a screen, and his jumper a little bit long. Good box out by Camby on P.J. Brown. Carmelo brings it up the floor. Trying to beat George Lynch. He gets past him, and the layup is good. What a beautiful layup by Carmelo Anthony.
Have a little beignet with that figure roll. That was a sweet shot by Melo.
Timely use of the beignet reference.
That's right.
He's been sitting on that one for a while. Get it out of here. Nene was starting to block a few more shots. You notice that?
He really is. And what last time down the court, Melo comes off a screen and roll, able to turn the corner on Lynch. McClure comes over, but just not quick enough to get in front of Melo. Kisses that ball off there, but Nene does a great job. Takes away the offensive player's strong hand, makes him go left.
And Armstrong almost had his three-point miss. Denver up 10-6 on an 8-0 run. Well, they need David Wesley on the left and Baron Davis on the right in shorts, not fancy suits. Davis, there's a steal by Armstrong, and he'll lay it up and in.
Oh, that's not a good play by Andre Miller. It's pretty simple. When you bring it up, fake a pass to make a pass, but Armstrong's a very good defender.
They hope to get Davis back in a couple of ball games. Wesley is going to be longer. Mashburn should return to practice on Monday. He's been out the whole year. Courtney Alexander, a role player, will be out the whole year with a ruptured Achilles. Yeah, nice strong move by Nene.
Nice play by Nene. Just backed P.J. Brown underneath the hoop. Able to go right at him.
And McClure's fouled. Marcus Camby came over to help, and he'll get the ticket.
Now, when you get it down deep in the post, the Hornets like PJ as defender. They're not going to give him any help, and Nene, recognizing that, just backs him underneath the hoop. It's a little pump fake in there in the air and able to knock home an easy shot. Drew, we were talking about why the Nuggets shooting percentage is so high, and you can see right off the bat, layups and dunks can make that shooting percentage go way up.
Well, 6 of their last 8 ball games, as you mentioned, they have shot it better than 50%. At a time in this league where teams rarely shoot 50% or better.
The Nuggets have a lot of options, create a lot of problems for defensive teams. Right here, you want to attack against the press. Go with it. Attack the middle.
That's what Nene's thinking. Backdoor cut. Andre Miller gives it up to Camby, and Camby flips it in. Andre went down into couple of cameramen, and he's back and heading up the floor.
Again, that's about the 6th or 7th shot that the Nuggets have had in the paint area. No jumpers, and good things happen when you're in there tight.
And P.J. Brown way off. He was 1 for 10 last ball game. A loss at home to Philadelphia. Here's Carmelo in transition. Marcus Camby there to clean it up. 8 points early for Camby.
And again, you see a great fast break. When you run with a fast break, you can't run with 2 or 3 guys. You got to have all 5. You miss a shot, Camby was right there to finish it off. No block out on Camby. Able to dunk that rebound home.
Boy, the tempo right now, the energy that the Nuggets are playing with is terrific. Armstrong off to Smith. 5 to shoot it. Armstrong launches that 3 under duress and hit it.
Yeah, that's a situation. You got to recognize the clock situation. Get up on that 3-point shooter. Vo a little too far off. Gives him a open look at that 3 with 1 second on the 24. Got to let Vo know.
Here's Leonard, turnaround jumper. Not there, and McClure rips down the rebound. Boy, Armstrong. So quick. He's got 9 points. He took 24 shots and scored 29 points in the loss to the Sixers. 13 of his 24 were from 3-point range.
Now
he knows he's got to shoot it for New Orleans to have a chance.
He's got to score, and the Nuggets need to keep making him work.
Vo's missed his first 3 after going 0 for 5 the other night. And McClure with an easy one. 8 points for McClure.
Well, that's going to upset Nuggets coach Jeff Buzdelik. 3 easy shots in a row. Nuggets got to work a little harder getting back.
Carmelo trying to take Lynch, and a foul. P.J. Brown picks up the foul. That's 2 on P.J. Nuggets trailing 17-16 in New Orleans. The Nuggets have won 3 in a row. The Hornets, a team that started 17-7, have lost 6 of 7. The injury bug has much to do with that.
McClure,
take a look at our
low post and
focus tonight, brought to you by Lexus. And we look at Jamal McClure, the 4-year man out of Kentucky.
Well, Jamal is a tough physical rebounder, and in the first half you've already seen him on the offensive end doing some of that damage. He's a low post threat. Saw a couple highlights there. He can score down there. He's not a great scorer. Consistency seems to be his problem. He turns it over a little too often. Some nights it's just not there on the offensive end with some inside production, and that's what the Hornets really need. They've got to have some low post offense to go with their perimeter threats.
McClure's had it going early, 3 of 4 for 8 points as Carmelo Anthony goes to the line, and that will allow us to, with Carmelo at the line, a former Syracuse star, a different generation. We want to get well wishes to old friend of ours, John Suter, television executive. He's got a new knee, and John's doing well. But John, he's still in the hospital right now. You can't smoke the cigar in the hospital, all right? But John played with Dave Bing and Jim Boeheim at Syracuse.
Assistant coach for our partner Scott Hastings.
That's right, at Arapahoe High School.
The girls varsity team.
There's a steal by Andre Miller.
There's one of the turnovers we talked about during the scouting report.
And the jumper off for Canby. Bryce Drew out there, 3-on-1. And Augman loses it. And it's going to come to Miller now. Anthony.
What hustle by Marcus Camby. Sprinted back after missing that baseline jumper.
And that jumper doesn't go. Camby again.
Marcus is everywhere out there. Takes the jumper on the one end, misses it, creates the turnover on the other. He comes back and dunks home a rebound.
Canby, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 of 5. The Plastic Man, Stacey Augman, Robert Tractor Trailer, Bryce Drew on the floor. You've seen about all the players that are healthy for New Orleans already. And another steal by Andre Miller, just picking the pocket of Bryce Drew. Miller goes up and lays it in.
Well, you saw that hesitation dribble by Andre Miller, just froze the tractor trailer, able to go right to the hoop on him. Hornets with a 20-second timeout, not liking their transition defense. Andre Miller, again, does one of the things he does well. He can steal the basketball 2 times in a row. First picking McGlurk, and then the next time down picking the tractor trailer. But right here we see Melo on a missed jump shot. Canby jamming it home.
Marcus had a couple of putback dunks like that. Jeff Bezdelik's team now leading 22-17. And he says this a lot at home. So we want tempo early. So a lot of times I don't even worry what the score is in the first half, because I feel if we have tempo, we will have the fresher legs in the second half. Well, I think the same thing may apply tonight against a thin New Orleans team and an older New Orleans team.
You're right, and I think on Coach Floyd's side of the equation, he took Smitty and Armstrong out of the game, trying to buy them some minutes, and right off the bat they go 4-0 in the hole, and he'll be worried about trying not to play those guys in the 40-minute area. He's got to get them down in the low 30s, and Nuggets need to take advantage when those two are out of the game.
Take advantage right now of a New Orleans lineup that does not have a lot of offensive options. Augman, and Stacey Augman hits a fadeaway.
Well, Bo Leonard did exactly like he should do against Stacey. Take away that left-hand move to the middle. Was all over that spin jumper. Augman not noted for that shot. Able to knock it home.
Leonard against Augman. Augman still a good defender. Here's Canby putting it on the floor, and he got the roll.
Well, Marcus was dodging white jerseys and blue jerseys on that play. Got that ball high off the glass, enabled it to be a soft shot, and that's why it knocked home.
20-8. Bill, you called it early. The Nuggets are getting a lot of things going to the basket.
In this situation, you want to pressure the ball. Andre, get up a little tighter in that situation.
There's Miller with another steal. Carmelo. And on the floor, Bryce Drew commits the foul. And another timeout coming. Denver leading by 5, 24-19. 2:40 to go. First quarter from the Big Easy. Nuggets starting a 2-game road trip in New Orleans tonight. Day off tomorrow in Memphis, Tennessee, and then they'll take on the very hot Grizzlies on Sunday afternoon. Drew Goodman, Bill Hanslick from New Orleans tonight, and later on, don't miss the series that's taken Europe by storm. It's high stakes late night poker, and Fox Sports Net is the only place to find it every night. Find out what's been keeping Europe up so late as late night poker comes to Fox Sports Net tonight and every night at 10:30 p.m. Check local listings for the time in your area. Dene's got 4 points in the early going. Carmelo Anthony also with a good start. Carmelo with 6 points. Here's Carmelo to the hole, and he got it blocked. And on the floor, Bryce Drew comes away with it.
You still, Melo love the drive to the hole, but still recognize an NBA defense. Those guys going to come at you. That's why Melo's way up there in free throws attempts. He draws fouls a lot of times in those situations.
Here's Augman. He goes cross court for Steve Smith, and Smith bangs a three.
Well, Rodney White has to recognize Steve Smith is a three-point shooter. You got to be able to get to him.
The Nuggets turn it right back over. Earl Boykins will come in, Andre Miller will go out, so it's Boykins, Rodney White now, and a front line of Carmelo Anthony today, and Marcus Camby in a two-point game.
You know, I like this situation. I like seeing Rodney White at a little two guard, and right now he is, and it's a good matchup on Smitty with him.
Smith going to post up. Here's Tractor Trailer, and the Tractor left the barnyard a little early and couldn't get to the rim. Out of bounds. Bennett Salvatore says it'll remain with Denver.
Well, again, you just see Marcus Camby getting involved in that fast break, grabs the rebound, and almost, outside of a little deflection, would have had a layup going down the middle. Hornets will show a lot of zone tonight. Nuggets need to be ready for that.
Marcus wasn't looking for the pass, three to shoot it. Here's a three from Carmelo. Rodney White offensive rebound. Rodney goes up, he had it rejected. And Darrell Armstrong nearly had his pocket picked from behind by Anthony.
Well, the Hornets really up on the Nuggets blocking shots tonight. Maybe warrants a couple ball fakes in there. Get him in the air and then try to come into him with your body. Get to that foul line.
Bill, you know it's painful to watch, especially because he's such a good player. Steve Smith running, his knees are so bad. I mean, his gait is affected.
Yeah, he is not.
There's Tractor Trailer, and he lays it up and in. He's been playing the best basketball of his career the last couple of weeks.
You see Tractor with a couple ball fakes getting the Nuggets up in the air and able to finish that shot.
White gets double teamed. Six to shoot it. Good move by Camby. Down low for Carmelo. And again, it's Trailer with the rebound. Smith taken away by Rodney White. Numbers right for Denver. Here's Nene to Anthony. And Carmelo lost the basketball. He was looking for the foul.
Melo needs to hustle back.
And it's an offensive foul drawn by Marcus Camby.
What a job by Marcus Camby. Melo really frustrated by not getting any calls going to the hoop, because you can't block my shot every time. What a job by Marcus Camby, and McClure just plows right into Marcus.
Final 20 seconds of the first quarter, tied at 24. Camby got it out of his hand. He didn't. No basket. Nuggets at times, Bill, would you concur, wait a little bit too long to go in end of quarter situations?
You really do. And that time, New Orleans basically zoned up the situation. Nuggets got caught flat-footed standing.
That shot short. That'll do it for the first quarter. 24-24 was a quarter of runs. And the Hornets, after a nice run by Denver, come back to knot things up. You're watching Fox Sports Net, your home for Nuggets basketball all season long. Denver Nuggets basketball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by First Bank, the Colorado bank for you. By your Colorado Chevy dealers who invite you to test drive the new Chevy cars and trucks. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? We're in the Bayou, the Crescent City of New Orleans. Marcus Camby, a great line in the first quarter. He had 12 points and 5 rebounds. And the Nuggets will begin things in the second quarter, tied at 24. They'll have Rodney White, Earl Boykins out there, Carmelo Anthony, Francisco Elson, and Chris Anderson. And as we talked about earlier, last ball game, Marcus Camby, 14 points and 12 rebounds. against New Orleans, and his last outing against Phoenix, 22 points, 18 rebounds, and 6 block shots. And look at the hustle. Armstrong off to Steve Smith, down low for Stacey Augmon. And Augmon clears some space. Anderson gets the rebound.
And you saw Chris come over, and Stacey Augmon put the brakes on and went the other way. Nice job, Chris Anderson.
Nuggets have missed their last 6 shots. Here's Boykins leaning in, and that's off. Good hands by Augmon. Sean Rooks on the floor. He wasn't available last game because of an injury. And he knocks down a jumper.
That's his MO. He can make that open 15, 18-footer. Nuggets need to match up when they get back down the court.
Here's Carmelo. And Carmelo lay it in right past Augmon.
We'll give Carmelo credit. He's going to keep going to the rack as long as they keep giving him the drive, and he'll finish those shots. You keep getting those shots, you're going to make them.
Anderson blitzing the screen and roll. Rooks again, the open man. Not this time, and Anderson then goes to the glass. Good job by Chris Anderson.
Sean Rooks still hobbled by that ankle, and be an advantage for the Nuggets to run him on the fast break.
Carmelo on the post against Steve Smith. And Anderson was out of bounds.
Nice read by Carmelo. Gonna let that play develop, but get your spacing. Wilson flashed high, drew the last defender up, and Chris was open underneath, but unfortunately, they called him stepping out of bounds, but
stepped out before he touched it looked like.
Either way, if he was out of bounds or he touched it, it's Hornets ball.
Armstrong, most of his career till this season with the Orlando Magic. And Smith wanted to get a jumper off, couldn't. Here's Tractor Trailer, who's got a pretty nice touch for a big man.
A little too deep in the lane. Francisco's got to get around and front him in that situation. If he gets it down there that deep, he can score.
Well, you need a cab to get around him to front him. Here's Carmelo on a cut to the basket. Bennett Salvatore toots the whistle. And Augmon picks up the foul.
Nice look by the Nuggets on getting Melo going back door. Melo able to get both hands on the ball, go up with it, so he'll earn 2 foul shots.
So Carmelo back to the line, looking for points 9 and 10. There's number 9. This season, Choppers Dinner, the biggest fundraising event of the Denver Nuggets Community Fund, is scheduled for the 4th of February. And the evening will feature a sports and entertainment auction as well as dinner with the Nuggets, Avalanche, Mammoth, Crush, and Rapids. All proceeds benefit the Nuggets and Avalanche Community Funds. Call 405-6091 for more details. Armstrong pops out. This guy's a bundle of energy, even at 35.
Well, nice job of helping by Francisco. Nuggets can't leave the ball, particularly when it's the Hornets' only scorer.
Rodney White on the block. And Rodney is fouled. Steve Smith doesn't like that call.
Well, Smitty's one of the best arguers in the league, but Rodney White doing a nice job of getting down deep in that low post. And that's what's nice about his offensive game. He can score perimeter or he can get down underneath. A lot of body, like some arm on that play.
You know what, I love Steve Smith, and I know you're very fond of him. You got to know him very well when you coached him in Atlanta. I mean, he's one of the classiest guys in the league on and off the floor. But whoever has Steve Smith on the offensive end, you got to go at him, don't you?
Well, you do, and Smitty is basically playing this game on sheer brains. He can handle the ball very well, but you're right about his legs being a little slowing him down, and he creates some offensive opportunities.
And there's Tractor Trailer. Elson pulls down the rebound. Vachon back on the floor. Denver up, or down, excuse me, 30-29. And that's a bad pass by Elson, grabbed by Augment. And then Stacy puts it on the floor, and his leave looks pretty, but there was nobody behind him but Earl Boykins. And then Earl got caught up in the air, so it's sloppy at both ends.
Now, one of the things you do as a passer, don't leave your feet unless you're going to shoot.
Brooks fires off the glass. 3-point lead for New Orleans.
It's too many turnovers here in the second quarter, shooting the ball well, but missing out on opportunities to shoot the ball by turning it over.
Anderson, turnaround jumper. And there was still time on the shot clock. A tractor trailer, when he catches it down there, he's going to be real successful. He's averaging 10.6 rebounds, shooting 67%. His last 8, you can see why. He has 6 in this game since entering. 34-29, 5-point lead for the Hornets.
Wake up. Huh? Wake up, buddy. They called your flight to Chicago 8 minutes ago.
Chicago? No!
Flip, you got a little crusty, sleepy thing in your blowhole?
Sleepy stuff. Nature's crouton.
You think about the roads people drive on. How each one is different. Then you build a family of cars that helps make them all the same. The 2004 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
The Denver Nuggets are working overtime to bring you the best value in sports, and it's on sale now. The Denver Nuggets Family Night is 4 tickets, 4 Old Chicago pizzas, 4 Pepsis, and a $10 ESPN Zone game card for just $59. The next Nugget Family Night is coming up soon, so order your package today at the Pepsi Center box office, online at Ticketmaster.com, or by phone. The Denver Nuggets, working overtime.
Hornets leading 34-29 in New Orleans with 7:44 to go in the second quarter. Coming up after the ball game, right here on Fox Sports Net, the Rocky Mountain Sports Report. And they will be busy, as always. Some of the stories they'll be following, including notes from this ball game. Kobe was back in court today in Eagle County. And the Fox focus will be on New England quarterback Tom Brady. The All-Stars reference is to who should be in the All-Star game. Our Marcus Johnson will break things down in the West and the East. Nuggets with Boykin still out there, White, Anderson, Leonard, and Elson.
Nuggets have to be aware that New Orleans will go zone out of timeouts. Have to be ready for that.
Boykin's trying to shake free, and Earl cashes a 20-footer. First hoop of the game for Earl Boykins. He had 13 in his last outing against the Suns.
Little instant-o by Earl Boykins, and that could spark some life into the Nuggets offense here in the second quarter.
Anderson all over Rooks, and then Smith goes out of bounds. Or loses it out of bounds. 10 turnovers on the Hornets, 9 on Denver.
Nuggets better job of pressure D that time. Force that turnover.
Boykins gives it up. Elson can hit that shot, and he does.
On cue by Drew. Nice shot. A better penetration and pass. Earl drew the defense to him, able to kick out to Francisco. What a pretty shot he has on the that mid-range jumper.
Here's Smith against Rodney White. And Steve Smith, well, you said use your smarts. That's what Steve Smith did there with the drop step.
Yeah, Rodney's just got to get down a little lower, make himself wide. Smitty's not going to go by you unless you give him an avenue.
Earl created space again. He was sensational in the fourth quarter against the Suns. The Nuggets came from behind to win that game. Earl had 10 points, 10 of his 13 in the fourth.
Earl stirred the pot on the Hornets that time down. Darrell Armstrong yelling at Sean Rooks, get out on that pick and roll. Sean Rooks says, get through.
Here comes tractor trailer, and Elson giving away about 3 bales of hay.
Well, again, you know,
the foul.
There's a situation. Francisco, just a young player in the league, doesn't know tractor trailer, hadn't played against him much, but you just get down low. He's not going to shoot that jumper out there. But if you get you up straight up and down, he can put it out down on the floor and he'll drive right on you.
Well, Bill, tonight's contestant for the Mako Makeover Points in the Paint promotion is Carol Rankin from Denver. If Denver outscores New Orleans in the paint, and so far they have, then Carol will be registered to win a free Mako Makeover. Visit participating Mako locations to enter to win. And the Nuggets +8 in the paint right now. Here's Armstrong looking at a 3. And out of bounds to Denver.
Nuggets, good job defensively again. And this is a situation where Nene and Camby both have been rested now. And tractor trailer's played some extended minutes, so could be some fast break opportunities coming up for those guys.
Timeout, 36-35. Denver down just 1. Tight ball game so far in New Orleans. 5:56 left in the second quarter. The Hornets leading by 1 with Bill Hanslick. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, since January 1st, the Nuggets have taken on a bunch of teams that have been shorthanded. They beat Phoenix for the 3rd time this year. And last time, Phoenix played without Stoudemire. Utah, the Nuggets won on the road. Of course, Utah playing without Karolinko and Harpring. They went to L.A., and I think they learned something from that ball game without Shaq, Kobe, and Malone. And basically the lesson is, doesn't matter who's not playing, you better show up, because anybody that's on an NBA roster is there for a reason.
You know, the old axiom is play the uniform, not the personnel. And again tonight, teams like the Hornets that are undermanned, those guys know they've got a good team coming in. They're going to be ready to play. They'll play at maximum ability. If you don't match their intensity, it's a coin flip game.
And you see Baron Davis, they need him back, averaging 23.5 a game. David Wesley averaging 15.5 a game. And, you know, Jamal Mashburn is a career 20-point scorer. Andre Miller out there now. Camby, Nene, Leonard, and Boykins, and it's Miller to the hole.
Andre able to get deep in the paint. What I liked what he did his last step, he went into Augman's left hand. Augman was going to try to block that shot, but never got off the ground. Nice play, Andre Miller.
And the Nuggets have retaken the lead. And McClure is off. Camby stabs the rebound. Andre spinning, and he got fouled. And it's Augman. 2 on Stacey Augman coming back in. The Mellow Man. Carmelo, first visit to New Orleans was a pleasant one last April. He led Syracuse to a national championship as they took care of Kansas in the title game. Last year, as a freshman, he averaged 22 points and 10 rebounds. And back live, Andre Miller flashed to the middle and hit a baby jumper. 6 points for Andre, Denver by 3.
And we're talking about points in the paint. Early in the game, Nuggets dominated in their little drought, but now have come right back, and that's some more close-in shots. Bodes well on the offensive end.
Long jumper from Armstrong. He has been the offense tonight for New Orleans. He has 13 points on 6 of 9 shooting. In fact, he's their leading rebounder as well with 5 boards, and their leading assist man with 3.
You want to just keep running him. You've got to run those legs out. When you're a jump shooter like he is, you just can't let him set up.
Tough pass. Carmelo won't get there, and then Lynch has to beat Nene at the other end. Nobody else ran back for Denver, and McClure had an easy 2.
Well, Lynch wiped out Nene with that off arm, no call. But again, good hustle. That's what you should do as a player. Don't assume the layup's going in. Carmelo's got to hustle back and help on that defensive end.
Here's Bo looking for his first bucket. That's a good sign. He got his legs underneath him there. And hit just inside three-point range.
Those first couple shots were a little flat. Got a little more arch on them.
Good move by Augmon. Augmon knows about NCAA titles. Won an NCAA championship for Jerry Tarkanian at UNLV in Denver. He beat up Duke. Miller in deep again. Boy, he's quick.
Andre is just dominating that low post area. Armstrong no match for him in physical strength down there.
And Leonard's going to pick up this foul.
Well, Stacey Augmon at 6'8", long arms, a little bit of a mismatch on Vo. The other end of the court, Andre Miller's been able to get into that paint on Darrell Armstrong. No help from New Orleans big guys, and Andre's put home the last three down low.
By the way, you know, talking about Syracuse beating Kansas, I'd like to pimp our director, Mike Helling, a Kansas alum. Everybody's beating KU now. I mean, Richmond beat them last night.
Well, we just saw the highlights in that Final Four. You figured their first time that they would maybe pull one Final Four out, but they got whipped bad.
And Nene had it blocked from behind. Is that Armstrong? And that's an offensive foul on George Lynch.
A nice play by Marcus Camby, getting his feet up underneath Lynch. Down Darrell Armstrong with a nice play, catching Nene on a one-handed dunk.
BD, Baron Davis, the former UCLA star. The Nuggets leading Davis's team 43-42. Let's take a look at our Coors Light League leaders. And when you talk about steals, AI always near the top of the charts, then Baron Davis, then Darrell Armstrong.
Again, the Hornets second in the NBA overall in steals, and big reason why those two guys get their hands on a lot of balls.
Now Armstrong's played a sensational game tonight, including a block shot for a guy who's barely 6'1".
He tried to tomahawk that home, but get it out wide. Armstrong guessed right, went around the outside of him. And Nene not expecting that. He caught him.
So here we go, final 2:50 of the first half. Denver by 1. Andre goes up and hits again. Little look off, subtle little look off to keep the defender on the floor for an instant.
And froze New Orleans defense, and smart thinking by both Camby and Nene, who were on the offensive rebounds.
That'll count. P.J. Brown with his first bucket, he was fouled.
Marcus went for the steal on that, tripped on, tell exactly what he tripped on, but looked like he just caught his leg there, but Nuggets slow to react, and they not really sure where that foul was on. Like he just kind of fouled Nene, but I'm not sure where he fouled him in that situation. Looked like he just got his arm up.
Brown with his first 3 points. We're tied at 45. Andre Miller again in the post. Turnaround jumper. Oh! Good looking shot. Didn't stay home.
Now they're milking the hot hand, but again, attack the glass. Double teams are coming on.
Armstrong finds McClure. And New Orleans goes up by 2.
Must be a wet spot down there. Another Nugget player down.
Nene, Carmelo, and he's hacked by Lynch. That's 2 on George Lynch. Couple free throws coming for Anthony.
Nice job of a two-man game with Nene and Carmelo. Carmelo recognized if you cut hard to the hoop, it's so tough to defend him because guys are going to deny him the basketball. Cutting back door, you can throw it high, you can throw it low, and Melo knows to do with it once he catches it in that painted area.
Kids, if you participate in the Safeway Read It program, you know the deal. You could meet that man, Ryan Bowen, or Adam Foote. So visit your local participating Safeway store and pick up your Read It calendar today. Anthony goes 1 of 2, 10 points in the game for Carmelo. Hornets up one, 47-46. Armstrong, undrafted out of Fayetteville State. P.J. Brown.
P.J. struggled with his first couple of shots, then got 2 layups. Now he feels like he's got the hot hand.
Bo pull up, and he knocks it down. Leonard with 4.
Bo recognizing one of the 2 guards that he can go by and use his quickness on. Steve Smith on him and making a nice one-on-one move.
Brown missed badly there. Here's Miller trying to create numbers. And out of bounds, Denver basketball.
What a pass by Andre, caught Marcus just by a little surprise. Marcus almost batted it to Nene. Miller just got his hand on it, tipped it out of bounds. Nice to see the Nuggets in a fast break mode there.
Brown goes out, and coming back into the ball game is Robert Traylor, and the Nuggets call a 20-second timeout. 54 seconds left in the first half. 19 on the shot clock as we take a look at what's on tap for Denver over the next few days. We told you, and we've been saying this a lot, Nuggets playing a very tough January, and it continues at Memphis Sunday, where the Grizzlies have won 6 in a row. Then Minnesota Monday. That means Kevin Garnett. 6:30 to start time on Fox Sports Net. Chicago on Wednesday. And then the Nuggets on Saturday will play at Dallas if you want to move one game farther down the road. Western Conference, the Nuggets 8 games over 500. They're hanging tough. You know, every team in the Midwest Division, for example, is above 500. They're the Nuggets right now. Well, game behind Dallas, but Houston's right there, and Memphis is right there.
The interesting thing is check the losses. That's the key. You can't make up losses. How tight those teams are.
Ten on the shot clock. Miller surveying. Leonard waits, leans for 3. Tapped out by Camby. And Marcus had it rejected. And then Carmelo made a play. And then Nene committed a foul. And in terms of team fouls, that will put, well, that's the 14th foul on the Nuggets, so they'll take it on the side. Second on Nene.
Marcus Camby, nice job on those offensive boards. Good thing Melo deflected that pass because Armstrong had got by the Nugget defense. Fortunately, Tractor Trailer came up with that deflection.
Got to get out on Armstrong. Miller does. 8-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Oh, Steve Smith, beautiful move with the left hand. He's got 9.
Smitty, one of the best in the league at head fakes. You can't watch that head, watch that body. Fake Nene right out of his shorts and went by him.
Here's Miller from 16 feet. In and out. And loose ball foul. It's on Nene. Free throws coming.
Now the Nuggets just out of sync a little offensively and defensively. That situation. Hornets are going to use it. Get 2 more free throws to build on their first half 3-point lead.
Rodney, take it out. Block 5.
One of the fewest free throws in the league, only 3 tonight.
2 seconds left with Lynch going to the line. George has not scored in the game. He is a 65% free throw shooter.
The Nuggets need to recognize this. Vo's got to get on the line here. You want to have 3 blocking off. He'll move in, I'm sure, on this second free throw. Nuggets with 2 seconds. They'll probably have a little play set up here where they'll try to throw deep. Near the sidelines is where you normally want to go with the ball. That way a deflection goes out of bounds. Defense will run back up the middle of the floor. Go deep and in a hurry.
Leonard from half court. And the first half is done. And the Hornets have a 53-48 lead on their home floor inside New Orleans Arena.
If you can get up, you can play with.
We are back in New Orleans where the third quarter is ready to commence. 53-48. The Hornets leading the Nuggets at the break. Back with Bill Hanslick, Andrew Goodman, Marcus Camby. Had a terrific first half, 12 points and 8 rebounds. The 12 points leads Denver. A couple other players with 10 apiece, Carmelo Anthony and Andre Miller. Nuggets shoot a good percentage, 48%, but they allow the Hornets to shoot 55%. The thing that has to change, I guess from both teams' perspective, is the turnovers.
Well, turnovers, but again, the Nuggets need to tighten up defensively. That shooting percentage is way too high for a team that's limited offensively.
Yeah, they're missing their 2 leading scorers in Baron Davis and David Wesley. And Smith stepped on the baseline.
Better
The
job.
Nuggets will get it.
Better job that time by Vo Leonard, just getting his hands up in the air when Smitty drove baseline, forced him out of bounds, and good start defensively for the Nuggets.
Nuggets have to hope the same thing occurs for them that happened with Philadelphia the other night. The Hornets had a 7-point lead on the Sixers at halftime, but really just ran out of gas in the third quarter, and the Sixers ended up winning 92-86. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Carmelo on a drive, gives it up. Nene missed a dunk.
A nice pass by Melo on a penetration, and they just not quite up high enough.
Here's George Lynch, a rare shot from 3-point range, and Camby has the carom.
Nuggets again want to push the ball, push tempo. Great job by Andre Miller. What's nice about that situation, you watch Andre taking off in that break, uses Nene almost like a moving screen, attacking the hoop. Armstrong having to foul Andre to prevent a layup.
Denver got a lot of stuff, Bill, going to the basket in that first quarter. So you think get it rolling again. Here's Carmelo looking at a 3. And there's Jamal McGlure for the rebound. 3-on-3. Armstrong off to P.J. Brown. Boy, that's a shot P.J. Brown makes ordinarily.
Both teams starting slow on the offensive end, but the Nuggets need to keep attacking. Get that ball up court. Don't let that shot clock get down. Attack the rim.
Here's Andre. And Miller hits again.
That time Nuggets using 2 back-to-back sort of pick-and-roll type screens, and Andre able to turn the corner on the second one and get in that lane area.
He's coming off a 22-point performance against Phoenix. Armstrong gives it up to Smith. And Brown rolls in. PJ was fouled. He'll get a couple of free throws.
Well, again, Marcus let PJ come across the middle, but Marcus a little surprised there wasn't a clear-out foul with that left arm. I don't know if we have that on tape or not, but looked like PJ got that left arm out and tried to wipe out Marcus.
PJ Brown, 5 points in the first half. Last year, he was the only player in the NBA to shoot above 50% and to shoot above 80% from the free throw line.
Well, he's just a stalwart for this team. I mean, he's just Mr. Professional, grew up in this area, and the Hornets signed him to a new contract this summer. There's a lot of teams that would love to have him on their roster.
Carmelo beats Lynch, and there's Nene, offensive rebound. Denver will hold on. This ball game for Carmelo reminds me of a couple of games ago where he made some great moves to the hole, but the layups just rolled out. He's made 3 or 4 tonight.
Just coming out there. The Nuggets need to tack behind him when he goes to the hoop. Follow him in there because he's beating 2-3 guys.
And that will be on Denver. It's on Nene. No, it's on Carmelo Anthony, excuse me.
And Nene had set a nice screen, and Melo used his arm to push Lynch off. Referee just had the right angle on that. Left arm must have gotten out there.
Andre Miller, the tough assignment on Armstrong. Brown goes to McClure, and he'll hammer it home.
Good
14.
Good ball movement by the Hornets. Nuggets slow to react on the weak side defensively, and Hornets made them pay.
14 points for the Toronto native Jamal McClure.
Ball must have hit a soda pop or a beer down there. A little wet. The referee's going to dry it off.
Might have hit a hurricane. We're in New Orleans. Nuggets go to Memphis next. I noticed Memphis beating Sacramento tonight by 15 at home. They're at halftime. Vashawn Leonard.
That's a good little high post play. Andre Miller setting a back screen, freeing up Bo. Armstrong not able to get to him on the perimeter. And Bo gets his feet set, squares up. He's going to bury those shots.
McClure, that's a great pass. Line to George Lynch. He found him. And Lynch has his first field goal, 58-52.
Jeff Bzdelik really frustrated with his team's defense. Just too easy.
And there's a three. Vashawn Leonard. He's starting to heat up his 73rd triple of the year. He was 4 of 4 from downtown in the first meeting between these two clubs. A runaway win for Denver. PJ from 20 feet. Short. McClure got a piece of the rebound, and that allowed Brown to roll to the basket.
Again, the Nuggets slow to react. Marcus Camby out in the pick and roll, and Nene comes across. The middle's open for rebounding. Melo's got to get in there. He's got to be physical and get pushed out and get some of those rebounds coming off.
Leonard trying to take Steve Smith, and Leroy Richardson has a hold on Smith. 2 on Steve.
A couple plays ago, you'll see a great pass. Lynch just moving without the basketball. Melo just lost sight of his man, and situation you want to see ball you man, know where your defensive assignment is, and Lynch just snuck behind him.
Carmelo jump shot, and nothing but the bottom. That's his first hoop since the first minute and a half of the second quarter.
We saw some of those pretty jumpers in the Final Four last year that led Syracuse to victory.
Smith gets doubled. He's got to go outside. And now Smith back with the basketball. And Nene does a good job boxing out. Denver has a chance to run. Anthony's open. Here comes Carmelo, and he's fouled by P.J. Brown.
Boy, you just got to like that. That's how you play defense. Physical presence by your power forward inside. Outlets the ball. There's your small forward and your 2 guard running on the fast break. Andre Miller gets it to Carmelo, who knows what to do with it in open court. But you got to like how Carmelo, this is the sprint speed. That's the kind of speed you got to have. See him underneath the boards, but he's still out on the break. See Vo trailing up. Melo able to attack the rim, and that's picture perfect right there, Drew.
And Anthony makes it a 1-point game.
It's a big time of the game to make a stand and defensively and get a run going. There's some confidence going on your offensive end, but defensively you just got to get up and.
Darrell Armstrong taking the weight of the offense on his shoulders. 15 points for Armstrong. 7 of 10 shooting tonight. Entry pass to Nene. He leaves it short, and he commits a loose ball foul. And that is 4 on Nene. And that is a huge foul because Nene physically matches up well with McClure and Brown, and he's going to have to go to the bench for the final 6:50 of the third.
It is, and again, Nene getting a little frustrated, not getting the ball, but that situation, Bo had Armstrong on him down low. He's got to move back out of there.
Yeah, you really got a team rebound. Rodney White will take his place. So Rodney played a little 2-guard in the first half. Now he's going to play a little power forward. He's going to cover P.J. Brown, a very good rebounder. McClure in deep. And that's what we're talking about. The Hornets come away with the basketball. They've hit the offensive glass in the third quarter. Lynch gives it up. Brown fouled by Camby. Nuggets having a scramble on D.
That's the situation where you got to just step up your competitiveness. But that time Melo really went after that board, but you've got to get 5 rebounders in there. You can't let 2 white jerseys control the board on 5 blue jerseys. And Hornets just outworked the Nuggets for that possession.
Nothing but net. John Elway Auto Nation Internet. Visit elwaydealers.com for over 7,000 new and used vehicles. See elwaydealers.com. Do it today. Nuggets down 5. That was their deficit at halftime. Backdoor cut. Carmelo swooping in. Camby has it. And a foul on New Orleans.
Well, Melo got his shot blocked a couple times. That time just hung on a little long, a difficult shot. That's when you get in those situations, Drew, and you see a player coming, just run right into him, draw the contact. You'll get to the foul line. But Hornets know that Melo will take it to the hoop, so they're going after his shot. Sometimes you got to direct a little bit more at the player instead of the rim.
Rodney White with McClure on him, fires a 3. And George Lynch comes down with the basketball. Brown finds McClure, and he'll throw it down. 66-59. Nuggets need to respond.
Well, you can just really see the energy of the the New Orleans Hornets. They're doing it the way the Nuggets need to do. Tough physical rebound, and they're running down the court. Good pass and P.J. Brown. Dunk McClure.
Bourbon Street in the French Quarter. David Wesley's going to be out for a while longer. Left big toe injury. He's on the injured list. Jeff Bzdelik's team facing their biggest deficit of the night. They're down 7, 66-59 to a Hornets team that's just tired of losing. They started the year 17-7, but they've lost 6 of their last 7. And now they're just 4 games over 500. Eight to shoot it. Good move by Bashan, past Augment.
Well, you see Vo switching hands. The shot blocker P.J. Brown was in the lane, expecting to go up with that right hand, switched it to the left. Nice move by Vo. Nuggets really need to be concerned about offensive rebounds, defend and rebound as a team.
Augment trying to get it to McClure. They finally do, and McClure's just going off. Nuggets have been really hurt by Jamal McClure tonight. He's got 18 points and 9 rebounds, 8 of 12 shooting.
Nice job of sealing. Rodney White's either got to deny the high post pass or get back and help inside.
And Bashan got tripped. Stacey Augment the foul.
Well, the last time down, you'll see the Hornets play high-low. Rodney White's either got to get back all the way, just stay down deep in that lane till Camby gets back, or deny the swing pass. That way you protect your low-post defender who's fronting in that situation.
Dozen for Leonard, 68-62. Steve Smith back in. Are the Quiet Monday nights getting you and the fellas down? The Denver Nuggets has your remedy with Coors Guys Night Out. For just $39, you and your buddy get 2 tickets, 2 Coors beers, and 2 Guys Night Out t-shirts, not to mention an action-packed Nuggets game. The next Guys Night Out is February 9th when the Grizzlies come to town. Get your tickets by calling 303-405-1111, or you can go to Ticketmaster.com. Sounds like a pretty good deal. Well, here's P.J. Brown. The trend continues. They're getting anything they want inside.
This is the equivalent of a football team just saying we're going up the middle every play until the Nuggets make a stop inside. They're not going to cut into this lead.
Anthony rolls baseline. He stepped out of bounds. Well, this final 4:14 of the third is real important. Tim Floyd's done a good job shuttling his thin lineup tonight, getting rest for some of his veteran players, and they have a lot of guys who've been in the league for a while. Hornets have made 7 of their last 10 shots, but they ought to because they're getting everything in the paint. 3 to shoot it, P.J. Brown. And it's rejected by Camby, and that's a shot clock violation.
That's the kind of presence the Nuggets need. Get the shot clock down, then Camby's able to come, maybe go after those shots where they aren't able to get an extra pass in.
The Hornets, further evidence of what they've done in this quarter. 12 points in the paint. The Nuggets have had to work from the perimeter. They picked up the D too, 5 to shoot it. Bo has to take a difficult shot way off. And Miller gets a piece of it, but McClure ends up with it.
Well, McClure's having an all-star night. But when you're dunking the ball on your shots, you're going to make a lot.
Hey, you're right, Bill. I mean, it's not like he's hitting, jumpers and getting to the line. He's just getting dunks. 72-63, the Nugget deficit 9. And a foul on George Lynch.
Well, the Hornets have built this lead pretty much by making defensive stops and just being physical with the Nuggets. Lure just doing a great job of hustling down the court. You see him underneath in the paint, and yet he's one of the first guys out on the fast break and able to get behind the Nuggets defense.
The foul is actually on P.J. Brown, and that is good news because Brown has picked up his 4th. He goes out of the game. Tractor trailer comes in. Carmelo with another free throw coming.
Well, the Tractor was 3 of 5 in the first half too, so I just need to be aware. I think they can play a little bit with Camby in the game, play a little bit more behind him. Keep the defenders, keep yourself between the defender and the hoop.
Chris Anderson next whistle. See if he can help the interior defense and the rebounding. Here's Tractor trailer, and that's a foul. And once again, the Hornets are able to get the basketball in deep. That has been the theme in this third quarter. 72-65 New Orleans. 72-65. New Orleans right now outscoring the Nuggets 19-17 in the third. Well, as a proud sponsor of Special Olympics Colorado, Fox Sportsnet is asking you to shoot and score this tax season by finding line 33 on your state income tax form and giving $10 to Special Olympics Colorado. To get in the game this tax season, be a linebacker for Special Olympics Colorado. Chris Anderson comes into the basketball game for Marcus Camby. Rodney White, Carmelo Anthony out there. Leonard and Boykins. The Nuggets are going to give away some heft on the front line. Tractor trailer, Jamal McClure out there. Tough George Lynch. And a big guard in Steve Smith at 6'8". But Denver must rebound, down 7. Trailer at the line.
Well, I'm sure they've looked at making some adjustments defensively just in some of those pick and roll and post up situations. Look and see what they try to do, but they've been able to get the ball deep into the paint, and for the Nuggets to make a run, again, they're going to have to do it defensively. This is a lot of points for New Orleans. 74 already in the game, and defense is going to be the key to getting back in it for the Nuggets.
Armstrong all over Boykins. Leonard off a screen, jump by Smith. Bo gets clobbered. Take your pick, Lynch or trailer.
You know, that's the Eastern Conference basketball you're used to. Beat you up wherever you go, but Bo willing to pay the price, goes into that lane, and Smitty hacks him, Lynch hacks him, and a tractor trailer gives him a whack.
Tractor trailer hit him with the front loader. 14 for Leonard, 10 here in the third quarter.
Nuggets have had some nice balance scoring tonight across the front line. 4 of their 5 starters in double figures.
Carmelo Anthony going to the bench. John McLeod says, take a seat next to me. Nuggets 16 of 18 from the line. There's the veteran coach in college and NBA circles. See if the Nuggets can get a couple stops here in the final couple minutes of the third. Smith. Outside Lynch. Good job by Elson to get the rebound. Denver can cut it to 5, maybe 4.
That is good help defense by the Nuggets.
Francisco with a sweeping hook, and it rolls around and drops.
Francisco used about every square inch of paint on that rim, but able to get it going down, and nice soft shot. But again, it started with a good defensive effort last time down by the Nuggets.
Anderson has McGlure right now. Elson's on a tractor trailer. He's going to front him. And Chris Anderson just got up in the air way too early. And trailer will go back to the line.
This is a situation I think the Nuggets need to maybe give up. They love to rear end front, as I should say, in the low post, but when you do that, they seal go high post. Either you got to deny that high post swing pass, or you got to play behind the post defender. And I think the Nuggets could play behind with the size they have with Anderson and Elson up front.
Bryce Drew back in the game. The Nuggets really took advantage of him last time, but he came in at the point guard last time. He's really going to play the 2 this time.
He's a shooter again. He can shoot, knock down some 3-point shots. Hornets make a little adjustment, decide not to keep him on the post.
They're going to go to his zone right now. Sean Rooks out there also. 10 to shoot it. Rodney White has to give it up, and he turns it over. And then Trailer ends up with the basketball.
That time you saw Francisco play behind Tractor, and Tractor not able to handle Elson's size inside.
Boykins penetrates against the zone. Elson from 15 knocks it down. Francisco with 6.
That's what you got to love about Earl Boykins. Create the offensive momentum by penetrating that paint on the zone, collapse it, kicks it to Elson, who can hit that 15-foot shot.
Get up on Armstrong. Rooks with 5 to shoot it. Anderson all over him. There's a steal. Boykins going the other direction. Earl pulls up. His shot's off.
Nuggets unfortunate on that. Earl had a good shot.
Trailer kicks it outside. Here's a 3. Fortunately, it doesn't go. White pulls it down. Denver still with 8 seconds to get a shot off. Here comes Rodney down the lane. Francisco Elson goes up. No good. Tapped out by Anderson, and the quarter will end just as it started, with the Hornets leading by 5. 76-71. Well, if you're an optimist, it could have been worse. Well, a nice brisk walk from Bourbon Street, New Orleans. In the French Quarter, you will find New Orleans Arena, the home of the Hornets. And with Bill Hanslick, I'm Drew Goodman. 3 quarters in the books. 76 for the Hornets, 71 for the Denver Nuggets. It was a 5-point affair at halftime. Bill, what has to happen in the 4th quarter for Denver to walk out of here with a smile on their face?
Well, again, it's just got to come on the defensive end. The Nuggets have been able to score enough points, but they have not defended well against a very depleted Hornet offense.
Anderson, White, Elson, and a backcourt of Leonard and Boykins. And that's not a good start. The Nuggets just throw it away.
Jeff Azelic up at Chris, telling Chris, don't force it. You can't make an anticipation pass in that situation. You got to make sure he's open.
Well, Well, there's the defense. Nuggets allowing the Hornets to shoot 53%. Bryce Drew, and well, only Steve Smith makes that catch, but Steve came down on the baseline. If Steve's not 6'8", Bryce Drew just threw that halfway to Metairie.
Now, Bryce Drew picked up his third turnover in just 5 minutes. The Nuggets want to continue to pressure him.
Well, he played 16 minutes the other night. He had never played more than 8 in a game this year. Leonard gets a ball screen. Chris Anderson, that's not what you want. I mean, we love Chris, but that's not his game, shooting jump shots.
It really isn't, and Chris has got to be a little smarter than that. Get it to a guard. You got 3 shooters. Actually, 4 shooters with Elson out there. Banged home a couple jump shots.
Brooks gives it up. Good ball movement by New Orleans. Smith is fouled.
That's his first, team's first. Steve Smith.
Smith to the line. Smith with 9 points all in the first half.
Smitty's always been a good free throw shooter in this league, and he's got a pretty stroke. And nice things about his shot is follow through. It just creates such good rotation. It's a good opportunity for Carmelo to step up in this situation and be a star in the league. You've got to do it on both ends of the court. You're down in crunch time here in the 4th quarter, and you've seen Melo do it before, particularly at home. So good time for him to make his presence felt.
He replaces White. George Lynch is on him. Carmelo just 4 of 15 from the floor. He is 8 of 10 from the line. He has 16. Elson from 18 feet. He knocks it down. Francisco, one of his better offensive nights in a while. He's got 8.
Give Earl Boykins credit. Hey, Elson's knocked down a couple of those jumpers, so he gave him a good look in that situation. Able to find him right in his range.
Anderson all over Rooks. Shot clock to 6.
Get up on that right hand, Chris.
Elson trying to get the rebound, saves it to Vashawn Leonard. Here's Carmelo running the floor.
That's what the Nuggets want to do.
Anthony firing a 3. That's short. Elson stabs a rebound. Francisco's done a nice job tonight. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and he also has the Nuggets' last 6.
Nuggets 2 deep shots in that possession. Able to knock it down.
And Trailers fouled on the arm by Elson with 3 on the shot clock.
Francisco played nice defense, prevented Tractor from coming in the middle, but again, you just, when it goes up with that jump shot, goes straight up. Does a nice job here, but you see him reach in and he gets him on the elbow. Tractor will get 2 from the foul line.
Yeah, Robert Tractor Trailer, star at Michigan. He's in his 6th year. He was the 6th pick in the draft by the Dallas Mavericks in '98. Never played for Dallas.
Drew, how many square yards of material you think are in those shorts?
Just, well,
a lot.
A lot. There's Boykins in deep. He finds Andre Miller, and Andre misses. Here's Bryce Drew. Can be next whistle for Denver. Tractor Trailers hurt Denver. He has 13 points in the game. And you know what? They're getting this done without McGlure and P.J. Brown in there. And Denver turns it over.
Now the Nuggets going to have to make some changes, and they're cranking it up. But again, you just, early in the game, that's why the key of the start of the game is so important. The Hornets just have so much life right now. They just have that feeling that they can win this game, and the Nuggets have to take that out of them. They've got to do that by getting tough on the defensive end.
Here's Sean Rooks. And Rooks hits, and now it's a 10-point lead. I'll tell you one thing they've done. They've limited the Nuggets' chances to run in the second half. The Nuggets had plenty of opportunities to run in the first half. Not many here in the second. Boykins thinking three. And it's tapped out of bounds. New Orleans ball. Timeout coming. Denver needs one. They're down by 10 with 8:28 left in the fourth. Denver Nuggets basketball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by your Rocky Mountain Ford stores. No boundaries. 83-73. The Hornets leading at home. Marcus Camby. And Denver will need to finish fast. 12 points, 12 rebounds for Camby tonight. His 9th double-double of the year. Nene back on the floor. So it's Camby, Nene, Carmelo Anthony, Boykins, and Andre Miller. Sean Rooks remains on the floor with Tractor Trailer, George Lynn, Steve Smith, and Bryce Drew. Denver needs to get some stops, get that running game going. They need to carve into that lead right now. Lynch jump hook, and Camby has his 13th rebound.
Hornets going back zone. They're going to have to move the basketball.
Boykins, big three.
Well, you hit a couple of those, that'll get you back in the game quickly. Nice pass by Carmelo to Earl Boykins, who was open on that zone.
Good D by Nene, and a foul. Boy, trailer's so wide.
You know, Andre Miller tried to go for the strip in that situation and not able to get it. But again, it bought Tim Floyd some minutes from his key players on the bench, giving them a rest tonight.
One of the differences in this game has been the bench. The Nuggets hope to have the advantage there because, again, the Hornets are beat up. They don't have much of a bench. A lot of their bench is starting, playing big minutes. But tonight behind Trailer, a little bit of Augment, Sean Rooks even, they've outscored the Nuggets 23-15. And only 2 Nugget bench players have scored. Boykins with 7, Elson with 8. Trailer misses both free throws. Missed his last 3 after connecting on 5 in a row. Andre penetrates, and he's fouled.
Penetration by Andre. You see the Nuggets just a hair out of sync in those situations. Not quite reading each other. Andre with a nice penetrate to the middle, but barely got it out to Camby.
And P.J. Brown coming back in. And Tim Floyd's done a really nice job utilizing what is a thin lineup tonight. And he's gotten rest for his key guys, Brown and McGlure. And of course, one of the reasons he's been able to do that is they've been working with a lead. They're going to call out an offensive foul.
Well, Melo surprised at that, but Armstrong's noted for flopping in this league and pulls off a nice one there. Even surprises the officials, who wait pretty long time to make this call.
Now, you know what? He threw the elbow out there. He threw the forearm to create space. Boykins tried to get a flop at the other end. And McGlure loses it, dribbled it off his shoe. Miller's open. Boykins off to Anthony, quick shot. And a good rebound by Jamal McGlure. 20 points, 10 rebounds from McGlure. He's been terrific tonight. Denver down 7. Just inside 7 minutes in the fourth. Well, Augment tried to buy a foul there, and now they're on the floor again. Shot clock goes off.
There were about 4 fouls in that situation. First, Andre Miller on Augment, no call, misses the shot. I couldn't see who that was underneath, but
then they went down again. Off camera.
This is a great sequence here. Andre got a little shove on Augment, who threw it up. We can't see it quite coming back underneath.
Now watch. Yep, there they go down again.
They tackle each other and no call.
Today, trying to pass the basketball. Finally said, I'm going to have to go myself. Andre Miller flips it in, and the Nuggets have it down to 5.
You know what was neat about that sequence is the constant motion Andre had. That was about the 3rd cut he had to the hoop, and finally finds an avenue. To do that, the defense can't set up.
No, they left Armstrong on the double team, and he had all day cashed a 3.
Now that's a situation. It's just a communication thing. You've got to yell switch or you yell stay, but Nuggets got caught in between, and Armstrong makes them pay.
See if Carmelo can get something going to the hoop. He fires the jumper, and he hits. 86-80. Denver right there inside 5.5 minutes.
Better job that time on that screen and roll.
3 to shoot it. Smith's got to go up with it. Now you got to get the rebound. McGlure, loose ball foul.
Nice job by Nene. And even that call was a little late, but McGlure just shoved Nene underneath the hoop, and Nene really drew the officials' attention by throwing his arms up in the air.
86-80, New Orleans. Nuggets down 5 at halftime and down 5 at the end of the 3rd, trying to come back. Later on, the Rocky Mountain Sports Report. Let's check in with Sandy Williams for the details. Sandy.
Well, Drew, after the game, we have a lot in store, including checking in with our legal analyst, Rob Becker, who dictates and illustrates what happened with Kobe Bryant in court today, and also all-star maybes. We know some of the NBA all-stars who will be, but what about those that are on the bubble? We'll talk with Marcus Johnson about that. And finally, tonight, Chevy Fox Focus inside the mind of a Super Bowl quarterback, talking about Tom Brady. But for now, let's get it back down to New Orleans with Drew and Bill. Guys?
We are in New Orleans. Thanks, Sandy. We appreciate it. Our Vovo game summary looks like this. 86-80. Jamal McGlure with a season-high 9 field goals, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Carmelo has 18 points, but he's taken 18 shots to achieve the 18 points. It'll all come down to the final 5:05.
Well, and what it'll come down to for the Nuggets is, again, defensively just putting some stops together. They've been able to find some offense. 5:05 to go. They have their starting 5 who will probably go the stretch here. Sure, the last adjustments that the coaching staff will make. This last 5 minutes have been made on the special plays that New Orleans have been successful with.
Andre Miller probing the defense. Here's Camby, stop and pop. That's no good, way short.
Jeff Bzdelic exhorting his team on now on the defensive end.
Armstrong to P.J. Brown. That's a foul on Nene. That's number 5. Now on the floor right now for the Nuggets, as Bill mentioned, they're starting 5. Miller, Leonard, Camby, Nene, Carmelo Anthony.
McGlure just a physical presence in there. They trying to hold his ground, maybe just try a flop in that situation.
And that's on
there
the floor.
That's what you.
What'd you say?
And just try that flop. McGlure just pounding him with his body, and that time Nene able to draw attention, but nice job. Nene helps on the back cut, holds his ground. McGlure just piles into him. Good call.
That looked like a Rob Blake hip check. And another foul, and this one's on Armstrong, and now the foul count is 3 on the Hornets, 4 on the Nuggets.
Nuggets will get another 14 on this shot clock, and
Nuggets right now struggling in the half court. And
that's a situation.
Turnover. They have 17 of those.
They're double teaming Andre, and the weak side low post is coming across, so you've got to swing it right away. And Andre didn't recognize Nene at the free throw line, wide open.
McGlure wants the basketball. Armstrong with Miller on him. Gets a ball screen. Canby reaches at it, dives. Which way? Denver basketball.
Well, what hustle by Marcus Camby, and he really recognized that shot clock was down, so he stayed with Armstrong, able to deflect that ball. And then Armstrong hits it last, out of bounds. Good call. You can see it right there. His right hand came in and swatted it out.
Great effort by Canby. Now the Nuggets need to convert inside 4 minutes.
Move the basketball. Get some cutters. That's what the Nuggets need.
Here's Anthony. Jump shot. Pure. It's a 4-point game. It's Carmelo time. 3:38 to go. 86-82.
Nuggets able to put some stops together, and that bodes right into the confidence of the Hornets.
Augment on a drive is fouled. Now that puts the Nuggets over the limit, so Stacey Augment will go to the line where he's a 77% free throw shooter.
Well, that situation hurt again. The shot clock was down. The Nuggets had a good opportunity to put a stop. Unfortunately, Augment got by Bo Leonard into the middle.
Stacey got a break. He shot that thing 10'2", and it climbed up over the rim.
You hear that whistle blow, throw it up at the rim, and never know what can happen.
That was a better looking free throw. He gets them both down. 6-point game. Shot clock at 10. Anthony trying to shake free. He does.
What a quick crossover move by Carmelo. Beautiful one-on-one play, but too much standing by the rest of the Nuggets. They've got to move without that basketball.
Smith blocked from behind. Miller ends up with it. Denver trying to run. Here's Nene. Carmelo, 2-point game. Beautiful feed from Nene.
And the two young studs with a pass for the assist from Nene. The finish by Melo cuts it to 2.
We said it was Carmelo time. 2.5 to go. Denver down 88-86. P.J. Brown struggling from the floor, knocks this one down.
Well, Marcus not able to get out vertically on that pick and roll. Armstrong drug him across, and they not able to get that back out on P.J. in the rotation, and he can make that shot.
Nene against McGlure, one-on-one. Up and in, beautiful move.
Nene staring down the official on the baseline saying, how much contact do you get in here?
Again, it's a 2-point affair. Nene with his first hoop in the second half.
A lot of moving screens by the Charlotte Hornets.
Shot clock at 4. Smith realizes it. Canby the block. And they reset the 24-second clock. They should not have done that.
Well, they'll know.
Officials all over that. It's down to, it's got to be inside 3. It's 1.
It's 1, but unfortunately for the Nuggets, that'll be a solid 1 second, and that could be, you know, that could be 1/100th of a second. If it's under 1, it'll still show 1. And
timeout on the floor. Carmelo Anthony starting to heat up when it counts most. 90-88. Denver down just 2. Carmelo, 8 of the Nuggets' last 10. He's got 24 in all. More importantly, it is 90-88. Denver deficient by a couple with 1:37 to go in regulation. This week, ACC Sunday Night Hoops presents a return of the Maryland Terrapins taking on the Clemson Tigers in a showdown between ACC rivals. ACC Sunday Night Hoops presented by Staples, 4 p.m. Mountain, right here on Fox Sports Net.
Well, this type of situation, Drew, look for some screening situations inside, and then Smitty will probably come off with his size. He can get shots over people. Nuggets need to be ready to switch out. Switch out.
Brown got it. That one really hurts.
And that's just poor defense. The Nuggets should have been out. Never let him get that ball.
Still all kinds of time. They go to Anthony. Carmelo. Off to Andre Miller. Andre, and that's a foul. Count the basket.
You know, nice job by Andre Miller. Last time down, got him in the air, but didn't go up. That time recognizing him up in the air, draws the contact, able to get it up. Big shot by Andre. Knock this free throw down. It can cut it to 1.
$17 for Miller. Timeout for Tim Floyd and New Orleans. 92-91 with 1:19 left. Let's go back to the inbounds play with a second to go on the shot clock.
Again, this is a situation you got to see the pick coming. Andre needs to switch out sooner.
Yeah.
Don't ever let him even get that ball off.
You know what, though, Bill? I mean, he's still got a hand in P.J. Brown's face. That's a pretty good shot, isn't it?
Well, it is. Nice, better shot by Andre. The important thing is the Nuggets have continued the pressure on the Hornets. Every time down the last 4 or 5 times, they've cut into the Hornet lead, either tied it, you know, or got it back to what the lead was, or cut underneath it. That bodes on the opposition's mind, and Nuggets can get one opportunity to get a lead. I think they got a great chance of winning this game.
Well, in games decided by 6 or less, the Nuggets have been pretty good. They're above 500, though they haven't played many of them. Most of their games have been big margin games. Your Denver Nuggets are becoming the hottest ticket in town. Why not get the gang together to get a glimpse of the action? Your group of 20 or more entitles you to tons of benefits. Call 303-405-1212 or visit nuggets.com today. Pretty good crowd tonight at New Orleans Arena. They have not been drawing all that great, which is somewhat of a surprise because this franchise is in its second year in the Crescent City. Of course, they had an NBA team years ago.
One of their
went to Utah.
Right, and one of their problems has really been their permanent season ticket base. They do very well as a league-wise team in just walk-ups. There are a lot of walk-up people, but trying to up those season tickets, maybe it's just a matter of time and the Hornets, people being used that the Hornets are here.
Here we go.
And look for the Hornets to go back to what they've been successful with. That's P.J. Brown and McClure inside. After setting some screens, look for them to post up.
And turnover. If Denver can grab it, they can. Inside a minute to play. Here's Andre Miller in a race.
Nice job by Andre Miller. Good presence there.
Nene against a very good defender, P.J. Brown. Nene goes up. No good. Tapped that by Anthony. McClure has the rebound.
No fouls by the Nuggets. A lot of contact again. No call. You got to believe once in a while, Nene on the night has no free throw attempts. He's upset. He went hard at it, but one of the better defenders in the league, P.J. Brown, uses his size well. Like he might have got a piece of the arm there, but Melo and Marcus both on the board.
38 seconds left. 92-91. Hornets. Hornets leading by 1. For more on tonight's game, look for Chris Thomason's complete report in tomorrow's Rocky Mountain News. Bill's strategy, 38 seconds left. Hornets with the basketball.
Well, it's always a guessing game, but they had some good success running wing pick and roll with Armstrong and P.J. Brown. P.J. rolling short corner with McClure posting up hard in the lane. So the Nuggets want to be ready for that. Camby's going to have to show out hard, but that would be good strategy because you can let the shot clock run down. You want to run it down as much as you can. Still want to get a good shot. If you're the Hornets, Nuggets are going to have 16 different. Now, the main thing for the Hornets, or for the Nuggets here, tough defense, but rebound the basketball. You cannot afford to give up another possession to the Hornets. Rebound the basketball.
Again, Rocky Mountain News tomorrow. They'll have all the coverage with Chris Thomason. Armstrong with the basketball. Here comes P.J. Brown.
Wing pick and roll. McClure posting up. Good switch by the Nuggets. Shot clock down. Keep your feet.
And a foul is called on Andre Miller. Leroy Richardson with 5 on the shot clock. He'll send Augmon to the strike.
Now Nuggets just a little bit out of sync, but you know, I'm a Nugget fan, but I got to call that one. Andre just reached in a little bit, just too tempting to go after that shot. You see him just bring his wrist down just a little bit. Maybe we'll.
Timeout situation. The Nuggets have 1 full and 1:20 left.
Nuggets will use a timeout here, mainly to just advance the ball. Again, this situation with 21.7, you don't have to shoot the 3.
.21 seconds to go. 94-91 New Orleans. Back right after this.
Well, the Nuggets down by 3. The last situation, Nuggets down 1, but Augmon with the shot clock down. Andre Miller switched out on him, but you watch him, see him just reach in with that left hand, and that's ouch because the shot clock was way down in that situation. I think there were only there were about 4 or 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Augmon was going up, not a real good jump shooter. Fortunately for Andre, they called that foul, and when it's out in the middle of the court like that, more often than not, you're going to get it. But again, going back to the Nuggets situation here, they've got to look to attack the hoop. You know, you can hit a 3 with either Bo or Carmelo, so if they're open, that's fine. You got to have an open 3 to shoot it. Otherwise, attack the rim.
A lot of times, teams are so wary of the 3 in this situation, Bill, you can get a quick 2.
You're right, Drew, and the Nuggets just want to get a quick score either way. Then they can foul the Hornets. You don't have to shoot the 3 yet. Nuggets still have a timeout left, so.
You know, the Hornets 28th in the league in free throw shooting, but interestingly enough, the guys they have on the floor right now are all good free throw shooters, save McClure, who's in the high 60s. But first things first, you got to convert. Nuggets taking a lot of time. Now you may have to shoot a 3. Up in the air, way off, rebound, and you got a foul. And they get Augmon with 8 seconds to go.
Well, that was a good 3 try by Carmelo. The shot clock was down, had to shoot it. Andre able to get into the paint, but the situation, unfortunately, the kick out went to Marcus at the 3-point line.
Now the Nuggets need a little help. 94-91. Augmon right back to the line.
The Nuggets competed extremely hard the last 5 minutes to get back into the game. And now they got the proverbial 1 foot in the coffin, the other on a banana peel. They got to hope Augmon misses this.
If you have another timeout, you got to get the rebound too if he misses, obviously. And that's a big free throw. It makes it a 2-possession game. 95-91. The Hornets have led most of the way. Coming up after the game, the Rocky Mountain Sports Report. And we'll come back down to New Orleans Arena and have some more info for you from here. Tim Floyd's club has been struggling without their stars, Baron Davis and David Wesley. They're playing their second game all year without both of those guys and Jamal Mashburn. They lost to Philadelphia at home the other night. So right now, they're on the right end of the ledger. Tough 3 ball games. We talked about it at the start of the night for the Nuggets. Tonight, here in New Orleans, and Sunday against the Memphis team that's blowing out Sacramento tonight. And looks like they'll win their 7th in a row. And then you come home Monday and have to play the T-Wolves, who are playing as good as anybody in basketball.
These are good teams, and the Nuggets are in another one of those maturity phases of their season and realizing that now they've got to be ready to play teams.
Well, you got Rodney White out there, and here's Vogt. He gets a good look at a 3. And that's going to do it. 1.2 left. Miller and Steve Smith tied up.
I was actually very surprised to see Armstrong run that hard at Vogt. Vogt almost knocked that down, and he went to the floor. The referees could have called a foul in that situation. Not a very smart play by Armstrong. When you know in this situation, a 3 doesn't beat you, but a 4. But you see him come forward. You know, Vogt maybe could have leaned into him a little bit. That could have been a different situation.
Well, so much of the focus in tight games is always on the final minute or two. Bill, where do you think this game was lost?
I go back to the first quarter. The Nuggets had a big opportunity to open up a nice lead and went out of it with the score basically tied. And why that happened, and they were at 20 to 8 points in the paint, but got a little careless with the ball, didn't rebound very well at the end of that first quarter, and it comes back to haunt you. And, you know, the longer the Hornets were in the game, they felt like they could win. Nuggets made a valiant effort to come back, but a little too late. 97 points, too many.
The Nuggets fall 97-91 on the first game of this 2-game road trip to the South. We'll come back to New Orleans Arena in a few moments, but right now we go to the studio. Sandy Williams, Keith Flyer standing by.